Hey, this is Pastor Pete from Northwest Church, and this is Things My Father Taught Me. When I was young, there was certain times that I remember that I must have just frustrated him, either because I was questioning him or challenging him, and what son doesn't do that? And once he said to me, and I'm sure he said it a few times, he said, "Son, I don't need you to understand. I need you to do what I've told you to do." Let me say it again. I don't need you to understand. I need you to just do what I've told you to do. I'm pretty sure that I've said that to my son now, and even my daughter. Scripture in Philippians says, "May the peace of God that surpasses all understanding be upon you, and it will guard your heart and your minds." That's not a quote, that's a rough version of what I remember. But you notice that it says the peace of God will surpass all understanding. That means you don't really need to understand everything to have the peace of God. To have it, you may not even have understanding. But the power of what it does for you is that it guards your heart and your minds. Now, why is that so important? Because your heart is really what you feel about yourself, and your mind is what you think about yourself. And Scripture is telling us that we can have a peace with God that surpasses understanding, that will guard those two things. It will guard what we feel about ourselves and what we think about ourselves. And here's the cool thing. If I did what my Father told me to do without having to understand why He told me to do it, one of two things is going to happen. Number one is, if it succeeds, if what I do succeeds, then I will partake in His strength. I partake in His wisdom. I get to be a part of who He is. And if it becomes successful, then it's my success. But here's the cool thing. If what I do falls apart because I just did what He told me to do, if it doesn't work out, it's not my problem. It's my dad's problem, because He told me to do it. If it falls apart, I can bring it back to Him and say, "You told me to do this. I did exactly what you told me to do. It fell apart." I now don't need to carry the burden of having to try and figure it out. I don't have to blame myself when something didn't go according to plan. It's not my problem. I just did what my Father told me to do. I see the importance of that. I'm asking you today, are you doing what the Father's told you to do? If you are, whatever's going wrong is not your problem. If you're not doing what the Father's told you to do, then it's on you. Do what the Father tells you to do. You don't have to understand everything. We love you guys.